Bethany Sinkhorn. I am one of the Jasper Youth Service librarians, and I am going to show you how to do a quick 5-minute craft. Hopefully about 5 minutes, give or take how many you decide to do. So most of the supplies I'm hoping you have at home, or you have something similar at home that will work, because they're pretty basic actually. So what I have is a ceramic mug that's just a plain white mug from the dollar store. You might have some of these already at home, or maybe you have a colored one, and really colored would work, depending on the color. You can also use like stemware, like a wine glass, or like a clear rocks glass, whatever you have. You can also use like ceramic plates or bowls. So really, the possibilities are limitless. But I have a white mug. I also have some nail polish. I have a few different colors. I think the one I'm going to use for this is this purple, because I did a little test run earlier and I really liked the purple. And then I also have a bread tray, like a disposable bread pan, which is just what I have laying around the house. You can use just about any container for holding your water. However, I would not use something that you plan on using for food later, because the nail polish will stick to the edges. I don't know if you can see. Yeah, you can kind of see. The nail polish will stick to the edges, and it's pretty hard to get off, and you don't really want nail polish flavored food. So if you have like an old Gladware container or something similar to what I have that's disposable, that would be perfect. You want warm-ish water, like room temperature would be fine, not cold and not hot. Cold water will cause the nail polish to just drop straight to the bottom, and hot water will dissipate it too much. So you want kind of right in the middle. I also have a plate that I'm just going to use for drying. I have toothpicks that I'm going to use to kind of help swirl the nail polish the way I want it to look. And then I have some paper towel just because accidents happen and I need to be able to clean up. I'm going to show you an example of what I did earlier, and then I'm going to show you exactly how to do the actual process. So earlier, I tested out all 3 colors on this mug, and I made some mistakes. So I want to show you the mistakes because we want to make sure that we don't do them when we're making our other mugs. So my biggest mistake is that when I dipped all the way to the lip. Don't do that, because if you dip all the way to the lip, then you don't want to drink out of that side of the mug, because like nail polish, not great. And I actually went kind of high on these 2, but there's still a lip. And I will show you a solution for that. That's a possibility for how to make sure that that is okay if you want to go higher and have more color on your mug. But so there's some different colors that I did, and this is the purple I did that I really liked that I think I'm going to do on this one. So this one's drying right now. You can still see some of the water droplets. And don't worry about like trying to brush those off. They'll come off on their own. They'll dry. So yeah, this one's drying right now. So I'm going to put it back over here to dry. And we're going to do one. And actually, I think on this one, instead of dipping on the side, because I went so high up, I'm going to dip it straight down so that it's just dip dyed on the bottom. So the first thing you want to do is pick your color. So I picked this purple that I think is really pretty and springy. And I think it'll just look really nice on the white because of how it turned out on this one. You want to make sure it's shaken up really well. I know this one is, but I'm going to go ahead and shake it a little more anyway. If it's not shaken really well, the oils will not dissipate the way you want them to. And then the only thing otherwise on the nail polish is I would not recommend using fast dry or gel nail polish. Fast dry will dry too quickly on the surface of the water and you'll get clumps. And the gel nail polish won't swirl, it will clump up, and the clumps don't look as pretty. So regular nail polish is the best way to go. So I'm using this pretty purple. En Voyage is what it's called. So what I'm going to do is take the brush out and just set it aside, and then I'm going to pour the nail polish. Now the trick here is not to pour from way up here, because if you do, it just drops straight to the bottom. I'm going to pour nearly at the water level, and you just want to pour kind of back and forth or in a swirl pattern. So I'm going to swirl this back and forth across the top, and then I'm going to use my toothpick to give it more of a swirl back and forth. And you want to do this as soon as you pour the nail polish in, because if you don't, then it will clump up pretty fast and you'll end up with just a bunch of nail polish on the surface of your toothpick and not in the water. So once I've done that, I'm almost going to immediately drop this down in, because if I don't, then again, clumps, and I don't want clumps, I want marbling. So I'm just going to go straight down with my mug where the paint is, and then straight back up. And so that looks nice, but I feel like there could probably be a little bit more. If you look at the edges, there's some places where it went on really nice. And I see that there's still some color in here, so I'm actually going to dunk it a second time. And you can do that, that's not a big deal. So I'm going to dunk it back in and try to get a little bit more in some of those blank spots. Just because I think that would look a little nicer. Give it a little extra color. So, yeah, that looks pretty good. So you can see a lot of it's on the bottom. That's okay because we're going for that marbled look. You don't really want it to be super thick, but it gives a really nice dip-dyed kind of look to the bottom of your mug. So it might be fun if you have several laying around to do different colors, and then you end up with these cute color coordinated mugs and everybody gets a different color. You can also use, let me set this back where it goes so this can dry. One thing that you can do too, if you feel like this is a pretty design but it could use more, is if you have permanent markers lying around, you can use permanent markers to draw designs, or to write, maybe you want to write names on them. My lettering is not very pretty, so I'm probably not going to do that. But if you're like really great at hand lettering, it might look really nice to do like a swirly, pretty cursive name with each color. But I think I'm going to leave mine just with that purple dip dye, and maybe I'll go get some more mugs and do some more so that I have some color coordination. I'll use these other colors. So it's two ways to dip dye. You can do straight up and down like that and end up with that kind of color all around the bottom, or you can go sideways like I did on my first one and end up with a little more color on the actual sides, but you run the risk of running into it when you drink. So the last thing I'm going to tell you about then, let me close this up so it doesn't get dry, is something you can use to avoid the issue of the nail polish being up where your mouth is. And that is to use this, which is a kind of Mod Podge. This is dishwasher safe Mod Podge. And obviously this is probably not something you have lying around at home right now. But if you decide that this is a project you want to do on multiple items, say you have a bunch of stemware that you want to maybe dip dye the bottoms of, then I would suggest this. Using this to put coats on your mugs or whatever you're working on will make it dishwasher safe, at least top dishwasher safe. And it also is food safe, so then if you do drink out of the mug, it's not as big a deal because it's got the coating. The only trick with this is that you need to do at least a couple of coats, 2 to 3 coats of this. And they have to dry for about an hour to 2 hours each time. They should be hard when they're dry, it shouldn't be sticky. If it's sticky, you want to let it dry some more. But the trick is you can't use it or put it in the dishwasher for 28 days. So that's the only bummer part, but I guess quarantine's the perfect time to do it because you might not be entertaining. So you let it cure for 28 days, and once it's cured, then you can put it in the dishwasher and your nail polish shouldn't come off. If you don't use this, then I would suggest hand washing only on anything you do, because the dishwasher will strip the nail polish off, which, you know, means you have another project because you can redo your nail polish. But if you want it to stay because you like the way it looks, then I would either coat it with this or gently hand wash so that you don't lose your color. So that is mug marbling with nail polish. I'm not a super crafty person, but this is a pretty fun craft and it's not too hard to do. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you go out and try it. If you do, share pictures with us. That would be awesome. And hopefully I will see you again soon for another activity. Bye!